You ready?
We would have liked a couple seconds to chat with him about a few things, so no problem.
Ask him now.
You want me to stop it?
No,
don't worry, let's just go.
Let's make it happen.
I already explained it to him. He's done this many times.
Oh, great.
He's done this many times.
All right, we're good.
Dozie, you got the
Addition to the
Flyer?
no.
Questions.
Yes.
Possible questions.
All right, great stuff.
Let's go. No time again now.
I post it now. I think I'm not started.
Okay, let's go.
I'm gonna be here. Hang on. What you say topic was again?
Cartoons.
Hey, Johnny, you say you don't get side chick. Abi, wetin you dey talk sef?
Side chick fire. I say I don't get side hustle now. We go to fetch
Solar
responsible money. I don't sign up to become Stanbic IBTC at
Why
his
can't I
agent.
Stanbic IBTC
So
at
that's the
his
title
agent.
of the.
2 minutes.
My people,
That's the
we mean
article.
Stanbic IBTC
Yeah.
don't they right next to you. You too fit become
Wanna
Stanbic
leave that for
IBTC
now?
at his agent for your shop. So your business stand for grand
Okay,
gidigba,
great.
and bam, you fit easily sign up at Stanbic IBTC Bank at his agent Pidato. Visit www.stanbicibtcbank.com to see more to real top
Yeah.
matter, or visit any
Really,
Stanbic
that's
IBTC
not
branch
bad.
within your area.
Stanbic IBTC can be
It's
smooth.
plugged in now.
This is your one-stop station for intelligent talk and great contemporary music. Smooth 98.1. Absolutely no one does it better. My name is Gloria Anasia Young.
The world of commerce, the hub of business. Business Hub on Smooth 98.1 in association with Stanbic IBTC. Stanbic IBTC, it can be.
Alrighty, welcome back. If you just joined us, you're just in time. It's time for Business Hub, brought to you by Stanbic IBTC.
Yes, indeed. You're welcome to the show. To be part of the show, as always, make sure to send us a WhatsApp message to 0809-444-0981. You're welcome aboard. My name is Judith. Atibi, Kayode is here, and Rotus is here as well. There you go, Rotus.
Hey, Rotus, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, guys. Great to be here. Great to be here. Lagos, how are you all doing? And a special good evening to our guest as well.
Yeah, hi. Good evening, all. Great to be here as well.
Fantastic. Lagos, we have, of course, an entrepreneur in the renewable space, Dozie Igweilo.
Igweilo.
Yes.
Igweilo.
I think I have that right.
Mm-hmm.
Dozie, go ahead, help us out. Is that it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, Dozie Igweilo, that's my name. Yeah, you got it
Great
right.
stuff. Great stuff.
Great.
Great stuff. So, hey, if you're an SME out there, you've ever thought about getting into renewable energy, you caught on to the right episode. You're tuned into the right episode because we're going to be picking Dozie's brain about a number of issues. Kayode, how do people get in touch? How do they reach out?
You can reach out to us on WhatsApp, okay? Send messages to 0809-444-0981. That's just the best platform to reach out to us on. Let's talk about renewable energy.
Fantastic stuff. Dozie,
Hi, Rotus.
good to have you. I need to, first of all, ask you about awareness about renewable energy in this country. And I want to use an example of a cartoon, Dozie, a cartoon. I think it was 2007 or 2008. There was a Looney Tunes, Warner Brothers Looney Tunes cartoon where Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck are roommates, right? They live together in a house.
Right.
Yosemite Sam or Yosemite Sam, who is always hunting was that Elmer Fudd? No, that was Elmer
That was
Fudd.
Elmer.
Yeah, that's Elmer Fudd. Yosemite Sam is the one. He's also hunting. He's a hunter as well, or he's a gunslinger. He lives next door to them, and he gets solar panels. Right? He gets solar panels, and he starts bragging to his neighbors because they're out by the swimming pool in the sun. It's summertime, and he is attaching solar panels to his roof. And he says, well, you guys, you should know that I've got solar panels and I'm getting off the grid. And he kept saying it over and over, I'm getting off the grid. And
Right.
he's bragging about it. He's talking about how fantastic it is that he has solar panels. And then he turns it on, the sun is out, the solar panels light up, there's electricity through his house. And then all of a sudden a thunderstorm comes, right? Big, dark thunderstorm. It starts raining. The sun gets blocked. And all of a sudden he has to start borrowing things from their house. He has to go to their house to charge his phone. He has to go to their house to use the microwave. He becomes a nuisance. But I was struck, Dozie, about the fact that this was a cartoon marketed to children. I mean, you know, they were talking about Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, talking about the grid, talking about solar power, talking about renewable energy in an entertaining package. I was blown away. What is your take, to kick things off, as far as awareness is concerned here in Nigeria, where you operate in the renewable energy space? Are you satisfied with the level of awareness? And is it too early to be talking to kids in kindergarten and primary school children about renewable energy? That's my first question for you.
Okay, so thank you very much for that. So let me start by saying, number one, it's not too young, it's not too early rather, start talking about renewable energy to kids in schools and tertiary institutions. So and number two, I'll tell you that the awareness is pretty much improved as opposed to what it used to be a few years back. In 2016, 2015, a lot of people were thinking if you have a solar panel, just buy a solar panel and just have it connected on your roof and plug it back to your TV, and that's all. They don't understand the system that goes around the inverter system, the batteries and all the charge controllers and everything other thing. So the awareness is pretty much better now compared to 4 or 5 years ago. And of course, the government, the awareness came up because of climate change and issues that has to do with poor power distribution. And of course, the fact of the second question, which has to do with enlightening the younger ones, it's something that is very, very, very important because, of course, climate change is here. 2030 SDGs, sustainable energy and renewable energy. We have to see how we could, of course, harness this as quick as possible. So it's not too late to start educating young ones, and of course, the awareness is improved from what it's supposed to used to be. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much for that, Dozie. Let's talk about the markets now. Is there a market for SMEs in the renewable energy space?
Okay, so there's always a market because everyone needs power. You need power to power your devices, your phone, and everything now goes online. You know, so there's a huge market for it, but people tend to shy away from the fact that they have to pay a certain amount of money upfront before getting this installed. So, but the thing is, it might cost you a lot of money initially, but in the long run, it pays you and it saves you a lot. So there's a huge market around that. So and there's what we call solar home systems, which is a smaller system compared to an inverter system. This system can power basic appliances like your lightning, like your DC fan, give you access to charge your phones. And those are pretty much what people need to, get by daily, right? So, yeah.
All right, thank you so much for that. Don't forget, if you've got questions for Dozie, send us those questions to 0809-444-0981.
Also, we're streaming live on YouTube, so head on now to our YouTube platform and catch us right there streaming live or on YouTube. It's www.youtube.com/smooth981FM. Make sure to subscribe and also click the notification button as you're there. Rotus.
Right.
Yes, Judith, you were going to ask the next question?
I was waiting. I was going for you to give me the
go
ahead.
ahead.
So if you want to get started selling solar energy panels and other, renewable energy items, where do you get the equipment? Do you import?
So yeah, you can import it, depending on how large your pocket is, right? Because is either you want to import directly from manufacturers, OEMs from China, from Europe, from US, or you want to buy from resellers, like people that buy from wholesalers rather. Maybe you have to go to Alaba, buy from them, get a customer that needs your service, then you install, they put all your what's called your installation charges on that. So there are different routes to having a business around solar renewable energy business. So it all depends on what was your take and what capital are you bringing into the table, because your capital cuts across the kind of solution you're going to provide to your end users.
When you say buying, these things from places like China or even Alaba, how good is the quality? Is there anyone that's produced in Nigeria? Or is it just sourced from different places and put together in Nigeria?
Okay, so for produced products in Nigeria, there are little or no products, right? So myself and some team, we are looking at building products made in Nigeria, renewable energy products. That's another side. So, but these products basically are coming from abroad, and most of them are, of course, solar panels don't get spoiled. They have up to 25 years lifespan, right? So what you tend to change over time is things like the batteries. Of course, we know even your phones, when you use your phone for like 3 years, it doesn't really back up as when you bought it as new. So things like that are just what you need to understand before hopping into such businesses. Yeah.
So, Dozie, if is it correct to say that this is an expensive venture if you're going to go into it as a small, medium enterprise?
So I would say it's not, because of the fact that power systems is cutting down because of we have what we call DC appliances. So DC appliances collect lesser power in terms of consumption, right? So when you're having DC appliances in your home, you require a solar home system to power them. So solar home systems are cheaper compared to inverter systems, right? So solar home systems are giving you a DC output, but inverter systems are giving you mainly AC output. So inverter system goes across, you start having charge controllers and inverters, you start having big batteries that you have to spend maybe 150,000 to get one and stuff like that. But with 150 or 200,000, you can buy a solar home system that can power these basic appliances. So the deal is change your appliances from the typical AC appliances to a DC system appliances. Gives you the same satisfaction, right? So you know about inverters AC. So they consume lesser as opposed to the regular kind of ACs you have. So yeah.
All right.
Now, does the federal government of Nigeria currently subsidize, solar energy purchases for small SMEs?
Okay, so what I know about that is that if you're importing solar products, there's a certain level of I don't know, will I call it discount that has to do with for the fact that you're importing a renewable energy system to the country. So as opposed to maybe you're paying X amount for cars, but it's lesser for stuff of renewable energy. That's what I know the government have put in place. But I don't know of any other form of policies or what have you currently. Yeah.
Well, I mean, so how do you feel about that? Is there, should more be done? I think in the United Kingdom, if you're in solar energy, you can get subsidized by the government there. But, and I'm not sure if it's the same in Kenya. I think it might be after, I can't remember. But is that, how do you feel about that? I mean, can more be done? I mean, I know the federal government doesn't really have a lot of money right now, but can more be done to that end to where this can be subsidized to some degree?
Yes, the only way that could be done is to actually promote local content, because if we can harness what we have on ground to produce what we use, that way it could really go a long way, because you can't really go about importing these things back and forth. Because you look at what the dollar is saying today. So the only way it could really make more sense is to improve our local content. So that's my take.
And when you say local content, would you say that there are a lot of people that play that space? Because, this is renewable energy. A lot of people are not used to this DC power that you mentioned. And a lot of people are not used to building their own systems and, outsourcing them. So would you say there are a number of Nigerians in this space? And if they are they based in Lagos? Are they based in other places in Nigeria? How many people would you say, is it a sustainable space?
So there's a lot of opportunities around this space, but it's very difficult because in Nigeria, we hardly produce nothing, but there's still opportunity to do more. So people that play around the energy space in terms of local content are quite few. I can mention a few companies like I run a startup called Oddiri, right? So we build solar lanterns and solar home systems locally, harnessing waste to value closed loop business model. So that's something that's a space that is not really been altered by a lot of people, and it's really quite challenging, because we've been on this for about 5 years, trying to at least get something out to the market. But we currently have a product that is selling, so that's a great news. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we're still good on time.
Yeah, we do have to go on a short break.
Okay, let's take it
because
I
we
want
do
to
have messages
okay,
on our WhatsApp status. We're going to take them after the break.
Great stuff. Good stuff. Dozie Igweilo, is that correct? Yeah?
Yes, that's
who we're talking to in the renewable energy space. I guess Business Hub, Smooth FM, brought to you by Stanbic ITC. We'll take a break and be right back.
Love life.
We all know how Stanbic IBTC
All right.
Great
is
stuff,
passionate
man.
about the growth and advancement of businesses in the country.
How far?
And
You
they're
good?
going
All right.
an extra mile to assist
I'm good.
entrepreneurs
Oh no, I
at
mean
SMEs.
just
guys.
follow it now.
Thank
Just
you.
Follow the
They
trail.
have
But of
introduced
course, there's
what they
follow-ups.
call
I mean, those aren't
direct
follow-ups aren't
agent
listed.
Hey, Harris?
Natural
which
thing
is
where
a
you just
new
have
I can hear you guys. Yeah, nice.
Nice
closer
one.
to the people
So-
across the
Okay,
nation.
so we're wrapping up in
Yeah.
15 minutes.
This was like,
These agents
Okay, okay. I'm here.
that's
cash
Oh,
deals
no.
and
Ah.
reassuring
pay
for it's like, no,
bills,
it's free,
transfer
like,
funds.
You
I hope I'm doing well.
You're doing very well. You're informing everybody. I mean, it's such an, I don't know, for me, it's such an expensive place to play. And I actually wanted to follow up on how you're able to source the materials to build panels. Is it sand? Isn't that what you use for this stuff? Or what was it? What is it? Bitumen or something? What do you use for?
No, for the panels, we don't build the panels. The panel is built using silicon, but we don't build panels. So we are building the lantern itself. So this is like an example of the products we have. So this is what we build. So the panel just charges, the solar panel just charges this guy. You get it? We still buy the solar panel. So this is a lantern.
And that's powered by solar energy.
Yeah, it's being charged by solar panel. Just plug it on here.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. So that means we're still importing those. That we don't have the tech to make those here yet.
So we have local companies that are still doing that. They like just one Axono Solar. So they are local companies. So they have a factory somewhere around Lagos, Ibadan Express. So I've not been to their factory to see how they build, but they produce it locally. Yeah.
And funny enough, I mean, you need power to produce these things, right? It's the same manufacturing challenges that everybody else faces.
Exactly. So that's part of the challenges. Exactly.
Man.
Ready.
Like, okay, we're going back in now. Okay, we're going back in.
Okay.
Ready. Welcome back, Lagos. If you just joined us, you're just in time still. This is Business Hub brought to you by Stanbic IBTC. And of course, Rotus is leading the conversations on renewable energy with our very special guest, Dozie Igweilo.
Fantastic.
Yes, indeed. You can stream us live. We're on YouTube, so go on there and catch us live. Go on there. It's www.youtube.com/smooth981fm. Don't forget to subscribe and also click the notification button each time we stream live, so you can catch us.
All right. You said we had messages, right?
Yes, we do. We're gonna take them. This is from Matthew of Alabi, and it goes: Is there any technology coming up to reduce installation area of solar panels? The energy to area ratio is too small in many cases. That's for Matthew there. This is, you didn't leave your name though, but you're asking about the requirement for importation of solar energy parts. What's the requirement there? This is Bolao, and he goes, hi guys, couple of questions here. What strides are being made to make solar energy affordable for the average Nigerian? Any locally sourced products? And then he goes on to ask, do large corporations use solar as their main source of energy compared to diesel and gas or gas? And then 3, are credits such as renewable energy credit, REC, for environmental conscious users? Thanks. And that's from Bolan there. Although he's actually Jay from Toronto, 2 names he has going on there. And this one is Bumi. Bumi is, hello team. I am an installer for solar energy system, and I can tell you that government isn't making this market favorable for consumers at all. Most of my clients complain of high prices in batteries, etc. Government should please have the custom prices so people can harness and embrace this market. We basically have to import every component of that system. That's a question there.
Dozie, what do you make of that? Also, we'll probably have to go back. Go over the messages again, because Matthew, for example, had a lot of questions. But Bumi's point, what do you make of that last point she just made?
Yeah, so I can agree. I mentioned earlier about the components, batteries, inverters, charge controllers. These things are really imported, right? So, but the idea is this, right? Changing policies would help. Giving discounts on importation rates and stuff like that would help. It would go a long way, right? But at the same time, building local content will really go further than that, because I mean, the government needs money too. So, and the OEM, the original equipment manufacturers, do need money as well. So we need to just leverage what we have on ground. And there's opportunity around that, but that's a story for another day. So yeah, I can agree with what you just said. So
okay, great. Let's go over Matthew's questions again.
It says, is there any technology coming up to reduce installation area of solar panels? The energy to area ratio is too small in many cases.
The energy to area ratio. Well, I guess he's still talking about imports, but Dozie, what do you make of that?
So that question is quite tricky because energy to area ratio. So I don't know how you want to reduce the cost of solar installation. Solar installation cost depends on the individual. It's not automated, right? If you charge a customer that, okay, I want to install this for you, the guy can go on Jumia or Konga to buy these devices and have someone to come install. So it's just left for you to negotiate. So I don't know how to wrap my head around that right now.
I get you. I'm with you now. What's Matthew's second question?
No, Matthew, that was the last question. And that was his only question. This person, I didn't leave his name, but was asking about the requirement for importation of solar energy parts. What are the requirements?
Is there Form M for the FX or what do you need, Dozie?
There's all that. You have the Form M, you have back and forth. There's a lot of documents, trust me. So you have to be ready. You have to be buoyant as well. So you don't just go there and just mess yourself up. So yeah.
By buoyant, you mean you have to have money. Is that what you mean? Huh?
Yeah, much
all
cash,
right.
you know?
All right.
and it's Jay here, rather, Bolao. He's the one with the plenty questions. He had about 3 questions. So we're going to take the first one. And the first one is, what strides are being made to make solar energy affordable for the average Nigerian? Any locally sourced products? That's his first question.
All right. Okay. You might have answered that earlier, but go ahead, Dozie.
Yeah, so locally sourced product, like what I said about what we do at Quad Loop, trying to build waste to value system, harnessing electronic waste to build sustainable hardware products. So that is one side of it. So that's one way you can actually get locally sourced products through what we are doing at Quad Loop, right? So that's what I can say about that.
Okay. What's
the second one is, do large corporations use solar as their main source of energy compared to diesel and gas or gas? That's the second question.
Okay, Dozie, answer that because I have a follow-up, but go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so for that, right, they might not be able to use that because you require so much solar panels and larger system. But if they can afford it, it's going to pay them long term. But most people are scared of the initial cost. That's why they leverage their daily cost of diesel and what have you. But still, you're still wasting money, spending money, and considering users in the environment.
Great stuff. Thank you for that. My follow-up is, who are the major end users? Is it spread across businesses, wealthy individuals? Who really uses solar panels in Nigeria, from your perspective?
Okay, so a solar panel ranks from maybe 300 to 400 watts down to about 10 watts. So we have smaller systems that can power basic appliances like a radio, your lightning, charge your phone, up to systems that can power bigger appliances like a refrigerator, a deep freezer, and ACs. So it just depends. Your power needs determines what you are having.
Okay, right? Well, from what? Well, who? Okay, so I see. Okay, so it's decentralized or desegregated, as you will. So there's enough for everybody, regardless of where you are, wealthy, middle income, or whatever. Okay,
exactly.
Okay.
But can a company, right? A company that has many, that has a lot of power needs, can a company actually thrive on solar?
Yes, they can. One of the things that they will look out for is to buy original products in terms of batteries. Because if you spend so much money on batteries and it doesn't really give you a lifespan that is required, you have to go buy some extras or brand new, take them out and buy new ones. So, but they can, but it's just that chunk load of initial spending. A lot of people run from that, but they can actually drive with that. Yeah.
I've seen on Lekki, there's 2 fuel stations. I can't remember what but there's one on Lekki, there's another on the mainland. They use solar power. So at night, their fuel stations are well lit. So I know some companies that are into that. Okay, what was his next?
And his last questions are credits such as renewable energy credits, that's REC, for environmental conscious users. I mean, I think he's trying to say, are there credits? Because there was a word
I think Dozie may have mentioned discounts for solar. But Dozie, go ahead. I think you may have answered that already. But yeah.
Okay, so there are credit like the DV Bank, Development Bank of Nigeria, and it's something that has to do with Sterling Bank. So there are credit facilities that most OEMs, most manufacturers go to have a tie with these banks so people can pay installments. So there are credit facilities, of course. It just depends.
We gotta ask Stanbic too. I think Stanbic might have something. Stanbic's got everything.
Yeah,
Stanbic's got everything for everybody.
everything.
So Stanbic might have something for renewable energy as well. Go ahead, Kayode.
Matthew's got a question. Matthew says, is there any technology coming up to reduce installation area of solar
No,
panels?
that we've asked that question. Very
Okay. Daniel, on the other hand, says, I have solar power, but I would like to know how best to switch between solar and EKDC. Is there a way to automate this? So is there a way to automate it?
So yes, there's a way. You just have to buy yourself a automatic transfer switch. So when PHTN goes off, you switch to solar or something. So I think that's it.
That's actually what Yosemite Sam did in the Warner Brothers cartoon. He had this big switch at the back of his house where he pulled it down and then it was solar, and then when the thing went out, it went back. Yeah. So that's interesting. Oh gosh. Dozie, how going forward as we're closing out the year, are you optimistic that there'll be more adoption down the line? And is Nigeria under pressure to adopt more renewable energy options? You were mentioning climate change earlier on. You look at what's happening in the West, this push for electric cars in Europe and so on and so forth. For a oil and gas nation like Nigeria, is there going to be a push? Are they going to be forced into it to take it more seriously? And will that help SMEs in this space like yourself?
Yes, they have to be a push because we are all experiencing climate change. What's happening in the US and Europe and all that. So the developed countries will have to point fingers because it's global, right? So it's not a thing of my country. It's a global challenge, right? So the government in Nigeria has no choice than to hop on the change that is forthcoming. Diesel generators, petrol cars. People have to shift from petrol cars to electric vehicles in no time. So we have to start harnessing those, leveraging those technologies as soon as possible, so that way we can combat this climate change issue.
And in fact, the Petroleum Industry Act has been passed. There's supposed to be a deregulation of the downstream sector. Fuel is going for 162 now. If it's deregulated, who knows? Fuel could sell for 300, 400 naira a liter. You can imagine what that costs to be for fueling your generator. So things like this should be what should be pushing folks towards renewables. Yeah.
We have two messages here. We want to take the very last one as we leave the studio. This is at Daniel Omodulo, and he goes, please advise me on this solar installation. I have a housing project ongoing and I am of the opinion of installing a solar power energy 3-bedroom building and a boys' quarters of 2 rooms.
Hey.
How much in naira will it cost to put on ground this installation, please? How effective and efficient is this solar energy in Nigeria? Daniel, by the way, is I think in Belgium, so he's asking because I know is not.
Does it give us a number? What's Daniel going to be spending for? What's it
So
say?
for
3-bedroom plus a
Daniel,
boys' quarter? Yeah.
You can't really measure with the space, right? You can be staying in a room and parlor, but have appliances that can cover up. You get so the appliances, they measure the space of the house. So we don't measure with 3-bedroom duplexes and stuffs. So what are the appliances you want to power? Those are the things that will take the ratings and do a calculation and understand the ratings of the inverters you need to buy. The ratings of the inverter you need to buy will tell you the ratings of the batteries you need to buy, as well as the solar panels. So that's how it works.
This last one here, this is also a second Daniel, and he goes, hi, I have a solar panel, but I have solar power, but I would like to know how best to switch between a solar and the electricity, that's PHC and Ecodex. Is there a way to automate this? And it goes on to say, I have the switch during the day. I would like for the systems to automatically use solar if there's light or not. The issue is that if it was to be manually tuned to solar if there's light.
So he wants technology. He wants it to switch automatically. So does that exist?
We have what we call automatic transfer switch. We have a product called automatic transfer switch. So what that does is that it switches from PHCN to generator. So when your gen is on, let me use generator scenario. When your gen is on and NEPA brings the light, it switches off your gen and switches you over to PHCN automatically. So we have that kind of device that we sell in our company, locally produced,
Hey, look, we need more locally produced stuff. Dozie, in the renewable energy space, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you. Very, very informative discussion here about renewable energy. And I think we should, I don't know, in the future, we got to have you back on the show because there's a lot going on in this space, and we got to talk more about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now
All right,
brings us to the very
Lagos.
end of the show. Thank you so much, Dozie, for coming on board.
Lagos, there's more to
Thank
come.
you.
though.
Thank you
Please
for
stay
having
close
me. I
to
really
radio.
appreciate that.
All right.
Awesome.
And thank you, Lagos, for all your messages. Your messages and questions were great. Great stuff. I see Daniel is still typing something. So Daniel,
Daniel.
you hit us up on,
Yeah, just
at Smooth981 on the Instagram and so on, and we'll hit you up with an answer. Kayode, Judith, great stuff, huh?
thank you for coming.
See you
on board.
guys tomorrow for personal finance.
Yes, indeed.
Lagos, there's more to come. Stay close. In a few more minutes, it's the Champions Tribe.
Yes, indeed.
Business Hub on Smooth 98.1.
All right,
Great
thank
stuff,
you.
man. Thank you so much.
IBTC.
Welcome. I really appreciate